they sign on the plat that says they've never used this exemption in Western County?
Yeah, the ARMs require language for all exempt surveys, and for family transfer surveys which fall under the exemptions, the ARMs require a statement, and it basically says the landowners sign, it's a notarized statement, that they swear that they have never performed a gift or sale to that family member in that county before, that it's the first and only. They also swear that the reasons are for a gift to a family member. They have to state that family member's relation. So we get a lot of these, and Bonnie is really good about just sending them over to us. I think she usually knows the answer, but it's just, she likes them to hear from us, is basically they'll say, well, my uncle wants to give me 5 acres. And it's like, well, under the definition of immediate family in the regulations, an uncle cannot gift to his niece or nephew. It's, it's very clear in the regs what the definition of immediate family is, and we are aware of that, and so we police that for you guys pretty good. And then the other thing that they have to say on there is which parcel is being gifted to whom. And that's really important because on the face of the survey, usually the parents are retaining a tract, right? We consider that the remainder. And so it makes it clear, okay, the parents are giving away, this parcel or these parcels, but then they're keeping this parcel. And the one thing I would go back to, Jeremy was talking about how they can do it in a platted subdivision now. There is restrictions on that, so that's where the covenants come into play. A lot of subdivision covenants say that the parcels cannot be further divided. A lot of times when you buy a lot in a platted subdivision, and this is something the developers come up with just to kind of protect the value of the lots, like let's say they do a subdivision and there's 20 5-acre lots. If those 20 lots, that was the subdivider's desire, was to have 20 lots and to have 5-acre lots and have a little bit bigger parcels with some space between the houses. If their covenants say that the parcels cannot be divided any further, it doesn't matter really what the statute says or what the zoning says from a minimum lot size. If that's what the covenants say, then it's up to the HOA to enforce those. So if somebody in that subdivision comes forth with a family transfer, we just remind them, hey, your covenants don't really allow this. It'd probably be best for you to check into this before you get, in a fight with your HOA over an illegal subdivision of these lots. So,
we haven't seen anything. I don't believe we've seen a family transfer in a platted subdivision in Musselshell County to date, since the statute changed in 2023. So it doesn't happen very often because typically those lots are already 1 to 5 acre lots or something anyways. They're already pretty small, and so I don't think I've reviewed one anywhere since 2023 where somebody's done a family transfer in a platted subdivision.
So yeah, I have not seen one come through, and it's just so rare to find a subdivision, like Jeremy said, with big enough lots that are developed in a way that would allow enough room to be carved off to even fit another house and well and drain field on there from a DQ standpoint. And then even if that wasn't an option, even if that worked out, like maybe it's just a lot in a subdivision that was never developed and never sold, and it's just been sitting there vacant because that happens. Even if that was the case, most likely the covenants, I'd say most covenants since like the late 90s, early 2000s, almost all of them say that the lots cannot be subdivided further. So
all right, so gentlemen, I don't want to waste a bunch of the commissioners' time here, but I do need to speak with you further. What would be a good telephone number?
You can call, just the office works, 406-443-3962.
3962?
Yep.
Okay.
And if you want to talk to both of us, I'm going to, I'm out of the office quite a bit, so if you want to have both of us on the phone, I'd suggest just shooting an email over to either Jeremy or I, and we can, you can probably just shoot it to Jeremy. His email is Fadness, FADNESS, at WWCNESS.com. engineering.com.
And Bonnie has it too, so.
I did, I
Yeah.
think you copied Ben, one of your,
And the other thing I was gonna say is, I will actually be in person in Muscle Shoals County in the next, sometime in April, to do a kickoff meeting with the commissioners on the growth policy and capital improvements plan,
excellent.
with our guy from Billings. So, if there's a good time, maybe we can, at that point, we could just sit down and chat face to face too, so, and we could try to work on some of these questions also.
I think that sounds like a great idea. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
thanks.
we'll probably, because we'll be meeting with all three commissioners, so we'll need to set that particular meeting we'll probably set up as part of a commission meeting, a notice meeting. But, we can try to coordinate something with you either before or after that meeting. We can chat about this stuff if you want. And
Okay.
then I did just send to Bonnie and all the commissioners the most update subdivision regulations that were adopted last year by the commission. And so Bonnie, could you forward that to him so he has the most recent version if he doesn't have it?
I will. Yes.
Then you'll have your email.
Yep.
There's gonna be tests on that, right? You're gonna test us on that? Yeah, will be.
So, all right.
Yeah, if you're not getting a lot of subdivisions through the process, that's something too, is that the commissioners aren't really expected to be experts on their own subdivision regs, because you might only look at them once every other year or so, right? I mean, it's just kind of a function of how many subdivisions are you actually even getting coming through the process. So that's what you have Jeremy for, and I would just say just lean on him pretty hard if you have questions. But yeah, if you guys are fine with the process before we let you go, we'll just kind of keep going the same as far as just only having you sign the ag tracts, and then that way it's not weighing you down with a bunch of other signatures on the other exempt surveys. They're usually pretty cut and dry. Like I said, we've got the evasion criteria we can look at. And then for Bonnie, is Bonnie still in the room?
I am.
Yeah, I had a question for you just real quick. Do we want to keep, so the copies of paper copies of Mylar for filing, we're still doing 2 of each?
Yep, 2 and 2.
Yep, okay. That was the only other thing I wanted while I had you guys on the phone, so. All right.
Quick question though, of these ad tracks that you're sending us, when they get to us and you sign them, you sort of screen them for rebuttable assumptions? Alright, see,
Yeah,
I'm
so,
listening,
yeah,
we're listening.
part of my review on all of these, and that's why I was saying I always have, that part of it is kind of why I give them to Jeremy as well. So there's a little extra value there with basically 2 heads are better than 1 type of thing, is we both look at these just real quick and say, okay, does it pass the sniff test? Do these rebuttable presumptions kick in? And then we kind of go from there. So I usually check that first before I even run my closures and stuff, because if it doesn't pass muster, maybe they're not using the exemption correctly, then I just respond and tell them, figure something else out. You're not going to be allowed to do this. So.
But I think the only other thing I would say about the family transfer stuff, they tell us one thing. We don't have any reason to not believe that they're being truthful, I guess, right? With what they're telling us at the time that they do the survey. A lot of those rebuttable presumptions occur after that survey has been filed, and they go to try to sell a tract before the 24 months, or they put a real estate sign out on the road after the survey is filed, right? So some of those things are kind of almost like a little bit of an enforcement thing after the fact of, if you see something, then say something kind of thing, right? If you know that somebody did a family transfer and then they, you drive by their place and you see a for sale sign on it, 2 weeks later, right? Then, ask questions, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the time to say, hey, what's going on here? The other thing is when Bonnie has that, that first line of defense almost with the clerk and recorder's office, she gets a deed to transfer a family transfer parcel, a month or 2 after we've done the family transfer, and it's to a new, to a buyer or something, right? That's a red flag, like, hey, wait, whoa, the statute says this, so you can't do this, right? So I think that's that's kind of, on the family transfer side, the thing that we just have to keep an eye out for, and we're not in Muscle Shoals County, we're not in the clerk and recorder's office, so those are the things that we don't see after the fact, right? So, I would just say, that's the only thing I would say on family transfers.
Gotcha, and that kind of opens a whole other can of worms, but it's understood. You have
Yeah,
no
'cause
reason to
then that's
question
when
their
the
intent.
county attorney gets involved, right? And
Yeah.
that's when the county attorney, that's why you get the county attorney involved, and they're like, oh, hey, you violated statute and subdivision regulations, and now, we're gonna basically, go after you and pull your plat from the clerk and recorder's office and these tracks, and now you don't have these anymore, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole
Yeah,
legal
understood,
thing at
yeah,
that point.
yep.
So, yeah, it gets pretty complicated after that, but.
All right, well, thank you guys. I think this was needed badly.
Hey, well, like I
definitely.
said, I'll be up there, I'll be reaching out probably next week to everybody to kind of come up with a date that works for
Yep.
us to do a kickoff meeting for the growth policy and CIP, and then we'll probably see you in a couple weeks.
Yep, let me know, Jeremy.
We're excited for that, and again, I'll just thank you, I'll continue to get smarter on this, but to me, it's a real specialty field, and we really appreciate your expertise and help on this stuff.
No problem. Yeah, thanks for letting us, have some of your morning. So have a good weekend.
All right, thanks a lot, everyone.
Thanks,
You
guys.
take care.
Bye.
All right,
Bye.
Yeah.
that was really good, I learned a little bit there.
And they're very, as you can tell, they're very knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah. Know a lot of
They
it.
know their stuff.
Well, and I think Mike know it a lot better than I do, so that I got a lot
I can
of
tell you, ag exemption will not reduce your taxes.
because you've tried.
So, Teresa went through this and she said there's too many changes. She is going to
too
get a new
many.
contract today.
Okay.
Maybe at 3.
Yeah. At
All right.
probably 2:00 when she comes back.
She's putting pressure on High Plains.
Well,
Yeah.
she needs
And
to.
she is keeping them, their feet to the fire, and honestly, she's just doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
I'm just really impressed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
she's-
use the restroom real quick. All right.
I gotta run and I'm gonna go change these minutes as amended.
Okay. Well, good morning.
How are you, Mike?
I'm doing all right.
Oh, good. That's good news.
Just got back from 4 days in Great Falls.
So.
Oh, what'd you do in
what
Great
think?
Falls?
Should we sit down with
It
them
was all work.
and voluntarily give them a copy of the
Max,
affidavit and say,
Montana Association of County Road Supervisors.
Whoopee. High time.
They had a new grader up there, it was only $500,000.
Did you buy one?
2. No.
Woohoo.
So did you buy a couple?
Yeah,
Buy one, get one free?
yeah, I want to get one.
Buy one, get one half
Wow.
price?
It's crazy what the machinery costs.
No, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine prices of now.
And you almost have to, you can get an extended warranty, you can get up to like 6 years of warranty, of course that costs you another 20,000 or so.
Yeah, yeah.
But you almost have to do it because there's so many things that we don't own that cost so much.
Oh, sure.
Like a transmission's $50,000, you know, an engine's $150,000. So you gotta be on the warranty, and then when the warranty finally is gonna go off, you gotta get another one.
Another machine or another
Yeah, another
warranty?
machine,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because you can't take the chance of not having a warranty.
Wow, true, true.
So it's kind of a vicious circle, is what it is.
Yeah, machinery is just so expensive.
And I told Tom that he took one of the old graders up to Great Falls that had it completely rebuilt from the bottom up.
Mhm.
Cost $200,000, but a hell of a lot cheaper than a new one.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And it was before all the, you know, the depth things and the sensors, and so and it's a good grader,
Yeah.
but the problem is that you gotta be able to get parts for it
I'm
anymore.
gonna say the old machines sometimes are better than the new
Yeah.
computerized this, that, and everything else.
Are you been baking again?
Again.
So anyway, but it was, I mean, there were a lot of commissioners there, I visited with.
Georgia, you know, in the way Georgians are expected to deal with,
You know what I miss, cookies?
Yeah, But this was yours, I ate it.
You weren't around when they were passing out cookies, sorry. They're all-
Well, they probably did that, cause they know I need
Yeah.
lunch.
They're out there evidently. Ben's eating one, Mike's
All right,
eating
you
one.
want a
They're out there.
cookie?
No, I don't eat cookies, thank you.
Chewing tobacco or anything? Can I?
No, thank you. Try to cut down.
Yeah. This ag exemption is just a county ag exemption, which they can reverse, just like you said. Just have to go through the subdivision laws.
Yes. You're good.
I put that conservation in on 20,000 acres, and it's not reversible. It's there forever.
No, wait, Cliff.
Well, what an idiot.
But it didn't reduce my property taxes, not even a buck.
Well,
The easement,
Hmm?
the easement.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm. No.
And they paid me $2 million to put it on there. What the heck? Touch the grasslands.
Oh, yeah.
But I did exempt certain areas, 160 acres here and 160 acres there, in case somebody wanted to build a house sometime.
Commissioner, this is George Harris, Executive Director of Lucky.
It took me almost 3 years to get that done.
Well, we just can't pave over the, the whole world. You gotta have grasslands, you gotta have places for migrating birds and wildlife, and you gotta have wild lands. You can't just build, cut down all the trees and build up all the world, come on.
Well, the reason they do it, one of the reasons, they do want to protect the grasslands,
Right.
That's the number one. But the other thing is, they can sell carbon credits on grasslands.
Right, that's what I
So
understood.
now they have the easement, so this company that had the easement, they can be selling carbon credits to these big corporations to offset their carbon footprint.
Nah,
They can possibly make some money that way, but
it's crazy.
But
Doesn't seem right
that's kind of
somehow.
what
Oh,
the
well.
fancy market.
It
I
seems
mean, I
kinda
looked into
stupid.
it, and it's good to see, well, you could never come along on it, but maybe you can.
Seems kind of a weird
Sounds
workaround.
good. I'm gonna go with that plan. And the attorney wants to talk to me and, what are the problems?
So we got Ryan a new house yet?
I know, so I was thinking with something that I can look here.
He's got a trailer,
Really?
You
Big one?
know, and they're.
Small?
small one.
Well, you don't need a
Up in Montana.
bed and a stove.
I think you guys get it.
That's a bummer.
But, and so I need to figure out.
Till winter.
That,
Might have to do something in winter.
obviously apparent.
Yeah.
So maybe the,
You dig a hole in the hill and have a den.
You may end up having to.
no, I can't imagine that. What's bad about that is not only is it severe inconveniences,
Yeah.
you keep remembering these shit you had that you don't
Oh, yeah.
have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I need that, well, I don't have that.
all right.
Yeah, it's sad.
No one ever thinks to move everything out before the fire.
No.
No,
And, keep you.
except for me.
Yeah. That was suspicious.
I think about it, but I don't do it.
That was suspicious in the service company.
Yeah.
Irreplaceable things. Well, Ben's
Yeah.
got 2 cookies now.
I have 3 cookies.
Oh, that's right, you got another one, 3 cookies.
No
Well,
lunch.
I think that's good. That'll make me feel less bad when I do it.
He's eating mine. Making him up.
Well, sheriff coming in today? He isn't skiing again, is he?
No, he might, I think he said he was gonna be running a little late today, but he was gonna be here for the meeting. When I talked to him last night when we were working on stuff.
Pretty good deal. So why did David Turley leave? Did he run out of time?
I don't know what, I didn't know he was coming in.
Because I think it might have been good for him.
I didn't know he was coming in either, and he was trying to talk to me, I'm going, you don't understand, they're talking about what your deal is, I need to hear this. What is it? Uh-huh, I need to go in, what about it? Okay,
Any list?
like now.
So, the two of you will be talking later.
Yeah.
Thing I got about that is rebuttable presumptions.
Mm-hmm.
I like that term, I'm gonna work that into casual conversation.
New term.
New term, you know,
Use
it's like
it in
when
a
somebody
sentence.
says something to you, you say, well, I might have a rebuttable presumption.
Use it in a sentence.
Yeah.
So you're learning something.
That's just like the other one I learned was adverse possession.
Yeah.
I like that too.
We
We're
have
talking
a
about the
lot
sheriff, he just walked in.
of adverse possession.
It's better to be the recipient of adverse possession than it is,
Yeah, we have possession of all.
yeah,
The victim.
the victim of
Victim
adverse.
of.
Jesus, no wardens, the victor and the victim.
Hey, I got you guys some hats if you want them. But,
Hats.
or I was gonna give them to the road department. I didn't go around collect hats.
Oh, Mike, did you give Boyd his vest?
I tried, he was not open until 9. So
Ah.
I do it.
Well, pretty nice, Mike.
Why wasn't he, isn't he supposed to be open?
They
at
gave
8?
everybody that went to Makers a Makers.
He's open at
hats.
9 and then they close at 5.
Oh.
That looks pretty good on you.
These wear good, they look. they
I
look
do
kinda
have it,
dingy and
because I'm
dusty.
gonna give it to him today.
Yeah, he'll be fun, he'll be happy
I'll
for
take
that.
it.
That was quite generous.
That way nobody at the road department will get it. Thank you.
Actually, I could give you my key
Huh?
and you could take it out there.
Oh,
Norma and I went to Billings yesterday and we met with the refuse people.
Oh, did you?
Did they meet with you?
they
They
did.
did.
They didn't see.
My goodness, we even met with the head honcho.
Wow.
Did he tell you to go pound sand?
No,
No,
no.
He listened.
I asked him point blank, I said, why is this guy sitting out there? He does nothing, except tip our skid steer into the dumpster, and we have to get it repaired. Why is he there?
and we're paying him $8,000.
And we pay him $8,000 a month. Why is he
What
there?
do you have to say to that?
Well,
They're
that's a
looking
good
into
question.
that.
That's a good question. You got a good answer?
Well, and for that reason alone, it sounds productive.
What they told us is that the previous commissioners wanted him there and they didn't take it off.
And he also
Even though
said,
we asked them to take it off.
he also said, well, you have a scale, right? I said, no,
Oh, no, there's no
there's
scale
no
there.
scale out there. Oh,
Oh, really?
really?
They've all said chair, or vice, not
So
chair.
he doesn't need to be there.
He doesn't need to be there, there's no Republican foot.
Every one of them, but I fixed it. I just put vice
It's a
chair.
minor thing.
Well, it won't happen anymore.
It says vice
So
chair.
what else?
What else did we talk about? We talked
Yeah,
about,
share advice.
Vice chair.
what else did we talk about, Mike?
You're the vice
Keeping
chairman.
up with loads and stuff?
Well, we got
Yeah,
a,
well, we got the phone numbers for
we got the
those.
phone number
Be able
for
to-
Larry. And we gave the bill for the skid steer repair to the head guy, said, you will pay this bill, won't you?
Yeah, well, he said he would.
He said he would.
$140. Pick
$140.
your battles, I mean, you know.
It's not a big amount, but
Yeah, Mike makes that every 5 minutes, I think.
he does.
Spend twice that every 10 minutes.
But at least you have an income.
I'm glad we went.
That sounds really good. You've now established a,
Productive. And did they have some reason why they can't get enough loads taken out?
Well, Larry
Some are just having trouble
McPhail,
finding drivers and.
Larry McPhail, who is the whatever, said, the regular driver has been trained and all service issues are resolved.
Oh, good. I feel better.
And I saw a truck go by as I was
so wait,
walking.
that, repeat that?
We met 2 trucks yesterday.
Yeah, we did,
Boy, they were hauling them out of here.
yeah. So everything should be okay.
So have they got, what's that, repeat that, Larry something?
Larry McPhail, who is in charge of the drivers, he gave us his local phone number. Call this number if you have a problem.
Have an issue. That's good.
Boyd's probably been calling that, or does
Because we've
Boyd
been
have that
getting-
number?
I gave it.
Okay.
I think he does.
Very good.
Yeah,
It was better, at least it's not the number that we, the the broad number that you call and you get.
You get
hooked up to
nothing.
someone.
Phoenix. Phoenix, does nothing,
Now remember, I can't stress this, keep track when they're not keeping up.
yeah.
Document.
Well, the other thing, excuse me. Is Norman's got an incident report up.
Oh,
And I think that we should, you know,
Yes,
they
We
should
need to
be.
recreate an incident form.
Yeah.
yeah, and every time they can't keep up, have them fill one out. And then the incident report, I guess, for the skid steer.
Well, yeah, well, the skid steer fall off the edge of the cliff and down into the dumpster and tip it over and.
Can't believe that
What
it
if he had
happened.
gotten hurt or killed
Heck yeah.
or something?
He could have been trapped under that damn thing.
Crazy. You shouldn't be operating it for one, and you shouldn't be there for two.
You have to be trained, you're supposed to be trained before you jump in that thing and start running around.
oh, well.
And he damn sure wasn't trained or he would have never, how could you go sideways into that thing?
I don't know, you know, my dad, when I was a youngster, my dad got a skid steer, we were doing plumbing work, and they'll buck on you. They'll,
They used to, the old ones
The
used
old
to.
ones.
yeah, oh my
Yeah,
God,
the new ones
my
don't
job
buck
was
as
to
much.
dump loads into the trench, but I'd be on the edge of the trench, I'd be going,
Oh,
oh.
yeah.
Yeah, the new one's not so much, they're heavy, way heavier.
Well, anyways, we're
Anyway.
glad we went.
I was just saying,
Maybe we can get rid of the guy.
well, save $8,000,
Yeah,
A month.
a month.
yeah, think about that in a year.
And he doesn't do nothing anyway,
He doesn't do anything.
well,
Stand around the
Other
pews.
than, I think he's the guy that's supposed to call for loads, but he maybe doesn't even do that.
Well, we have 3 people out there. Nobody else can pick up a phone and make a phone call?
Well, I bet you they're making it anyway, I bet you he's not doing anything. That's a job I want, ask him,
Well,
tell him I'll do that.
I'll do it. I'll stand out there with a Republic vest on and call for that much money a
we
month.
better hire one for the county.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to supply them with a shovel blade on.
Yeah. Have to.
Sheriff,
Never
yes,
mind.
How are you?
I'm good. I am good.
He got that last skiing trip here.
Well, there might be one or two more.
Might be one.
But that was the last trip. I probably won't go over and spend the night again. I think I'll probably run over on Sunday
Yeah.
and then next
Afternoon.
Sunday. Yeah, I gotta go next Sunday because I got the first chair of the year.
Oh, yeah.
So
You
I need
want
to
the
get-
last.
I want the last. First chair, last chair. And that'll be able to check that off the bucket list.
that's like, people don't ever experience that in a lifetime. First chair.
It's like falling.
First chair, last chair. First chair of the year, last chair of the year.
Well, you know you're doing a lot of skiing when that happens.
I only, I
And you
don't,
have the 30th chair or the.
yeah, take it. I don't have as many days as I did last year. But anyhow, there's hope for the future. So, we had a good week at the sheriff's office. A very good week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
You're smiling.
We had a very good week at the sheriff's office. That's what I'm gonna do.
Somebody went to jail.
Yeah. Somebody paid for their crime.
And I did, maybe, I don't know what I have never, ever made a response post to the keyboard warriors ever, but I did last night.
Oh.
And I saw, because we got pretty beat up on Facebook on Monday and Tuesday.
Mm-hmm, yeah, you did.
And really, really beat up.
So what's the issue?
They felt like we weren't doing anything, and the fact,
Well, was
but
there
they
any-
watch TV, and you know, it happens in 30 minutes or 45 minutes, like, you gotta take out.
Minus commercial
And
breaks.
minus commercial, and they don't realize that for a thorough investigation, it takes time. And then people post things that aren't accurate, and
Of course.
and you can't rebut them, you can't say that's not. But I did go on last night and make a little response, maybe a little snarkier than I should have, I don't know.
Was this about
Could you
the,
print me out a copy of that thread?
This is interesting, so that, we may or may not be able to, but because that website that's been up for a long time got paused and now I don't even know what's going on.
Okay, well, the person is a victim, et cetera, and say we need a copy of that thread.
Okay,
Because if it's gonna be the subject of a motion at some point in time later on down the line, I need to know what it says.
oh yeah. So again, there was some stuff they posted, like, you can arrest somebody and hold them for 72 hours without charges, and I was like,
Well, was there a particular incident that started all